Hey, Chris, welcome.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time to chat with the Echo Means Business community on physical marketing.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about door hangers, postcards, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and so there's been a lot of interest and there's been a lot of debate, more importantly, around what works and what doesn't work. And there really seems to be this uh, two camps, like everything in the world today. Everybody's in two different camps, and there's doesn't seem to be any kind of middle ground anywhere.
All right.
Which is, like postcards are the absolute worst thing in the world. Door hangers are a waste of money, and then you have others who say it created their business. So I know that you've done a pretty good job with your business when it comes to the use of physical marketing tactics, be it postcards, branded swags in building your business.
Correct.
So why don't we talk a little bit about that? What's worked for you?
Well, first I started off to figure out what area we would like to service. I think that's the most important before you start any type of marketing, knowing the area that you want to target. So the first year was a little difficult. We were trying to figure out the right game plan to market. Then going into further down in the years, we decided to go with postcards. So we targeted with postcards, and we actually had the particular area on the postcard to give it more of a um, be more familiar for the customers, and that helped out tremendously.
You said you started there by saying that it was difficult in the first year, and
Yeah.
that targeting was important. So did you what kind of testing did you do, or did you do any kind of testing like on purpose in terms of
Yeah,
the marketing?
it was definitely trial and error. We figured out that uniforms are important, so we made sure that the truck was the same color as the uniforms. Everything that we did as a business had to match. So when a company or a customer sees us, they understand, okay, hey, this is Sloan's Lawncare. They'll recognize us, and the more that they see you around, the more comfortable they are with you and the more they do recognize you. Um, the first year, we started off with the website, did pretty good. That gets you online to make sure that people can see you. Also targeted on a couple of things like Google My Business, and then went further and went into the postcards.
All right, so I've been taking a bunch of notes here because there's a lot of smart things that you're sharing with the audience here. As a
Mhm.
marketing person, one of the first things we say when somebody comes to us and says, "We're going to, help me build a marketing plan. What should I use?" One of the first things I say is understand your audience, know
Mhm.
where your audience is, and know what
Yes,
works. And then, if you don't know what works, test.
right.
Run a couple of A/B tests. If you're going to do postcards, do a couple different postcards, or run a postcard at the same time that you're doing a Facebook ad, see what works, and then obviously in with a smaller dollar amount, and then puts bigger dollars into what works. So you
Right.
started off right. Now you didn't hire us to do any of your marketing for you.
I
So,
should I should have.
well, I don't know. Maybe we need to hire you to work for us because it sounds like you did everything right. Then consistency. That's another key, I guess, marketing strategy is that you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is consistent, right down to the uniform.
Mhm.
The coloring, as people can see, the shirt that you're wearing, everybody knows you for that bright color. Your truck,
Yes.
your shirts, your
Mhm.
business cards, and if they're going to see that when they go to Facebook and they see a Facebook ad, or if they get something in the mail, but they've seen, that's green and or whatever the logo is, or the character, whatever you use, and then it goes around and they see it, they're just, oh yeah, those guys, oh yeah, those guys. And
Yeah.
so when they get the postcard, there's a familiarity factor, right? It's called retargeting. uh,
Mhm.
from a professional standpoint, when we do advertising, we use that consistency in messaging to say, okay, if you've been on the site, serve up this ad
Right.
with a similar message to what they saw when they were on the site. So repetition will increase the likelihood of a click through.
Mhm.
Right. So that's the second thing that you said that was bang on with a solid marketing strategy. And
Mhm.
then the third thing, this is all free advice because if somebody were to, typically people pay us for this kind of advice. The third thing is to target the offline with the online.
Right.
So you didn't just do the postcard, didn't just do the wrapper on your truck.
Hmm.
He says we're going to make sure that there's a Google My Business page and that our website and the messaging is consistent across all of those.
That is correct.
So that was all. That was all good. Have you ever? So on your postcards, what's the messaging? Is it all for business development and lead generation?
Well, it's more of you need to have something that catches the customer's eye. A lot of times they get a lot of different flyers, so you want to say whatever type of slogan that catches their attention enough to realize, hey, this is a postcard, what we can do and how we can service your property to make it easier for them. So I would recommend having a catchy title. If you're targeting a particular area, have that particular area on the postcard to make it more personal for that area. So definitely having a catchy line and having their information on there, that definitely worked for us.
All right, so let's talk about let's sort of, I guess, the anatomy of a postcard and an effective postcard.
Mhm.
One of the things that you talked about there was personalization, but personalization could be expensive. That if you're going to have to do smaller runs for different communities because you believe that there's different services needed in different communities, that's going to up the price.
Right,
Higher targeting, which might get you a better return, so that's the calculation that you need to make. But if
right.
somebody doesn't have the budget to do a bunch of smaller runs and they want to get a lower cost per unit by doing a larger print run, how
Mhm.
do we offer some personalization options on a postcard?
Well, with the lawn service, of course, you're going to target these customers and you're going to have each item that you can actually service. So let's say if you cannot put the particular area on there, just say, hey, we do lawn service, we hedge trimming, landscaping, hardscaping, whatever you're comfortable with. That's also a great way to target without being so personal in that aspect. And you can purchase a lot more that, and they're similar, and then you can send it out that way.
Yeah. Some of the templates that we've added in the Echo Means Business Pro resources section are like door hangers that have check marks. So here's like 5 or 6 services. So you
Mhm.
can check mark with like a black Sharpie what you think is needed on that person's property. But
Mhm.
then there's also a blank space. So you can manually write in something that maybe is unique. Like maybe they got a dog and you see there's a bunch of turds that they're not picking up. So, hey, we also pick up dog turds. Like whatever you want to offer in terms of a service, right? It might be a gutter clean that you is just, or a window clean, something that maybe you want to throw in because you notice that there's something that this property needs that isn't part of your regular advertising. So that's one of the things we like to target in terms of our designs.
Mhm.
Um, but the other thing is to even just leave a blank space.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
one of the things that I know I heard, I'd love to take credit for this idea, but this is something that was discussed in one of the forums on Echo Means Business when it comes to lead generation.
Mhm.
It's to plan long term and to have 4 or 5 bigger runs of postcards, but with specific needs that you keep in the back of the truck. And then as you're driving around properties, if you notice there's a property that's got a leaf problem or that has an irrigation problem or that has a grub problem, then you take out the appropriate postcard and then you drop it in the mailbox or you slide it in the door for that
Yeah.
property.
Mhm.
Because you're going to get a much higher return on these if, for example, you notice that they've got a weed problem or a grub problem, and then they get something specifically targeting the problem that they know that they have, or maybe they didn't know that they have, and you're pointing out.
Correct.
So that's another tip I think that we can leave the people who are listening to this when it comes to lead generation is if you don't want to have multiple services, have 5 or 6 postcards with those different services that you think are going to be necessary in your areas. Leave them in the back of the truck. And then as you're driving around, pay attention. Or as you're doing a lawn, look at the neighbors' lawns.
Yeah, I
Look at
think
the
that
neighbors' windows.
yeah, I think that's a great idea, and the templates would definitely help for those starting out and leaving those areas blank where you can fill in, check mark different things. I think that's great.
So what else is important on a postcard? What are some of the other tactics that can be used when it comes to the design and our messaging on these lead generation postcards?
Some of the things that I look at is colors play a big part in, just to me, colors. You want to pick colors that's vibrant. I also Googled which colors stand out a little bit more than others. Also, the letter size. You don't
Mm.
want it too small, you don't want it real huge. So, it definitely takes a lot of time, effort to put together a good postcard in order to catch the attention. But to me, the wording, the items that you have on there, and the colors all make a difference to me on a postcard.
So thanks. That makes complete sense.
Mhm.
You definitely want something that's going to be professional looking and vibrant. When it comes to non-print, so outside of it, so like a postcard or a door hanger means that you physically have to walk to someone's door, or you've got to put something in the mail and do that bulk mail in a particular community. But I know that you're big on personal branding when it comes to your equipment, your tools, your truck, your uniforms.
Mhm.
How has that worked for you, and why is that important for the Lawn Care Pro?
I think that's great. In reference to just your branding for your company, I find myself, even on off days, I'm still wearing a Sloan's Lawn Care shirt. I'm making sure that our uniforms are staying clean because people notice when it's easier for a customer to contact you when they know how to contact you. If you look at a lot of different companies, uh, bigger companies, they have uniforms, and it just looks more professional. And they can contact you and say, "Hey, this is this company," and that way they can contact you from there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And what's interesting for if you're looking, if anybody's out there listening is looking for some branded swag, be it uniforms, hats, or even giveaways to
Mhm.
your clients. I know there's like a big thing amongst green industry pros to like exchange hats and stickers and things like that, especially when we hit
Correct.
the IE
Yeah.
plus Expo every year. But how about giving some of that stuff to your clients? Or prospects, give them something else. So there is a exclusive discount that's being offered to pros on the Echo Means Business site by
Mhm.
4 imprints. So if anybody's looking for something, take a look at the Pro Rewards section of Echo Means Business and look for the 4 imprint offer. There's a lot of opportunity there for people that are looking for stuff to get a discount.
Yeah, that'll be great. Definitely.
So have people have you noticed that people have stopped you because of your truck, or when you're out on a property, they'll walk up to you and and make a mention of the truck, or get a call and say, "Hey, yeah, I saw your number on your truck and I'm calling."
Definitely. We've we've obtained so much business just from the truck, and we'll also put have a small, I wouldn't say billboard. That's huge, but we have a sign in the back of the trailer. So you have to think when you're in traffic, they really have no choice but to look at your information, whether they're interested or not, and you want to put that information there, something quick to the point, what you do. That way they can contact you. But we've had a lot of success with the wrap shirts and with the sign.
That's a good point. I was going to ask you about billboards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and the use of billboards for people in the community if you've ever tried it. But almost an even better idea is that you don't have to pay for those billboards on the side of a highway. Just slap it
Right.
on the back of your truck.
Yeah. Yeah. We have it right on the back of the trailer, and we've obtained a lot of business. Somebody call and say, "Hey, I'm in traffic. You're right in front of me," and that's how we strike up a conversation. And we've got a lot of customers that way.
All right, let's switch gears for just a little bit and move from building a business or getting your new customers to once you have, whatever that is, whether you're getting close to the number of clients that you want or you think you can handle, or if you've hit your maximum and you don't actually want to grow anymore. How
Mhm.
important is it to keep that marketing going? I know a lot of people will stop spending money on advertising or branding or marketing when they feel that they've achieved a certain level of saturation or business.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that? Is it worth it to continue to spend some money, some budget on that?
Every year, we plan on marketing, and the reason why is that once you stop accepting customers, that stops the growth of your company. So let's say if you wanted, we'll just say 100 customers for that week. Okay. Um, let's say you have a couple of customers, they may move or they may not be able to afford it any longer. It's always going to be moving parts during the season. So we always market, maybe not as heavy as if we were trying to build, but we always leave that cushion in order to, you might have bi-weeklies, different things. So you want to make sure what we do, like to keep marketing in our budget.
Yeah, that's a great point because you don't know, even if you're at your maximum, you don't know what opportunities are going to come around the corner. You could
Hmm.
have somebody offering you a bigger margin property,
Yes.
uh, and you might want to let go of some of those that are not making you money, or customers that are just you're making money on, but just piss you off because they're always complaining about something, or they're the ones that don't pick up their dog turds.
That,
If you
that
always have to mow over.
That's a
Um,
whole nother conversation right
right?
there, but that is true. That is true.
So, I mean, I think that's a really important thing is always have that contingency, even if you think that you're growing. Because take a look at what happened during this pandemic, something that
Yeah,
none of us could have predicted would have happened, and how much business a lot of people lost. And had
yeah.
you had a bit of a funnel, it may have impacted people a little bit less.
And that's why I love going on the EMB site because if you have questions, there are so many pros there to answer. You have a lot of the community there to answer. So that right there is a source for people to go to ask any type of questions that they have. But yeah, we definitely want to market. We definitely want to keep growing. Uh, Something personal for us is when we lose a customer, whether for whatever reason, we generally get two customers, and it's the weirdest thing, but that's why we consistently want to market, and marketing is very important for your business.
See, I think that's a valid point right there, and actually a powerful one. You
Hmm.
know, it's not like, oh, I lost a client. Let me go out and try and find somebody to replace them. What you're
Hmm.
saying is that when you lose one, two happen to just appear almost out of nowhere.
That is
It's
true.
not out of nowhere. It's because you've been consistently marketing your name. You're always talking to people.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, you want to make sure that people can contact you no matter where you're at, what you're doing. Um, Websites, postcards. Definitely check out the information on the EMB site because there's a lot of great information on there. That's the way to grow your business or maintain once you hit that peak to maintain because you're going to have I don't really want to say ups and downs, but you may lose a couple of customers, they may move or different things. So you want to be able to market in order to keep keep your business going.
Right. Something else that I read recently in one of the forums on Echo Means Business, speaking of which,
Hmm.
is the idea that just because you've got 100 a week and that's what you want and you don't want to grow any further than that, there's
Right.
nothing to say that you can't improve your route density. And
Yeah.
by advertising, again, you start advertising on the streets that you've got the best traction in, and how do you get the rest of the properties on that street or in that HOA, or actually, if you got an HOA, you've got the whole thing anyway. But
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Is like, let me do two streets or two neighborhoods instead of four neighborhoods so that I can make my day more efficient so I can go home early, even if you don't want any more revenue. So there's
Correct.
always different ways to think about why you're marketing and where you're marketing. It's not just always about growing your business.
That's
It's
true.
often about just becoming more profitable, maybe, or getting home a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's funny. Starting out. We would take on customers and they're 20 minutes this way, 30 minutes this way, then you go 15 minutes back the other way. Route density is super important. Right now, we have a very tight radius, and there was actually a gentleman that called and was upset. He was 6 miles away, and we try to keep it within 4 to 5 miles. So that definitely makes a difference in being profitable. The less windshield time you have, the quicker you can get to the customers to service them, definitely the more profitable you'll be. So, and that's another reason to keep marketing, as you said, is to get your route density smaller.
Yeah. So I think it's important. That's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I know that that's something that you've been doing on a consistent basis. We've had this conversation in the forums and in previous videos.
Correct.
And I think this is really information that I want to get out to those that are listening, either watching this on our site or listening to it on our podcast, is the importance of regular marketing and trying different things, even when you feel that you're in a rhythm and that you know where you're at. Maybe you don't have to spend as much money in your year 3 of your business as you did in
Correct.
year 1, but you should still think about strategic marketing. And that's hopefully where some ideas will happen. If those of you listening are interested in more, guys like Chris, who is one of our Echo UAG members this year, acts as one of our mentors in sharing these ideas on our mobile app or on the site. Go and ask the questions. Take a look at the questions that are already being asked, or search through all the 6 years of articles that these guys have been posting. There's all kinds of information there. And short of that, just follow one of them and ask a question direct. Echo Means Business now allows everybody to DM everybody directly within the app or directly within the website. And definitely check out the pro resources and the pro rewards, something new in this year that is available to pros to make marketing a lot easier and hopefully a lot cheaper for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree. That's a great platform for anybody that has questions. And there's other than myself, there's so many other pros that can help you grow your business or answer the questions you may have about marketing. So I think the EMB site is a great platform.
All right, everybody, please go and check out Chris Sloan, Sloan's Lawncare. You can find him on Echo Means Business, and then all of his social profiles are listed there as well if you want to get in touch with him off. Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.